It is roughly middle of June. We have cauliflower here that I actually need to pull. I left it in the ground a little bit too long, so it started to get these little growths. I don't actually know what it's called. If somebody knows what it is, let me know in the comments below. But I do need to pull this because it's not going to be good. It's going to be really bitter. Our dill is insanely tall, right? I'm 6 feet tall, and if I stand up, it's probably about up to my shoulder at this point. So I could probably process some of this. I don't know. We're working on selling our house, so it's a little bit more difficult to kind of justify picking any of this up, especially if we want to leave it for the next people. But I might take some of it. There's plenty of it here. There's a bunch more farther down the garden bed as well. Down here, we have chamomile. All right, I could pull some of these flowers, but I'm just gonna leave it for the pollinators. We have a bunch of broccoli that's coming in. It's starting to get its heads. There's a couple of these that have the little tiny heads, but I'm really excited about this because it's been hot and brassicas like this don't usually do good in the heat, but these broccolis are really hanging in there and doing a good job. There's a couple, this one's got a little bit of a head on it. And then there's another one a little over here that's got a head. So here in the next couple of weeks, we should be able to get a little bit more larger of broccolis. Back over here, we have purple cabbages, but this is what I really want to talk about is these squash that are starting to grow in. You see them back in there. And then there's a couple that are starting to grow in over here. I don't remember what squash this is exactly. And then we have more dill right here as well. There's a bunch more squash in the garden. There's a lot of gourds. The compost pumpkins are growing in really well in these hay bales. And there's a couple more pumpkins that are over next to the chicken coop that are doing really good. I'm gonna be moving. Bessie and the baby have moved back to Washington. So a lot of this is just maintenance and upkeep as we get ready to sell the house. You see the other line of various different squashes that are in this box. And then back over here next to the chicken coop, we have more pumpkins, more gourds that are growing in. Were just left over in the compost from last year. And those are starting to flower, they're starting to grow, and they are vining out, so they're kind of pushing out towards them. And then back here we have peppers, various different types. I want to say they're all bell peppers, and different types of bell peppers, but they're growing in back here. They are loving the heat that has been going on here in Delaware the last couple of weeks, and it's supposed to get hotter. We're supposed to get a big rainstorm today. We're supposed to get thunder and lightning, so we're hoping that it rains quite a bit so that way we can get some more of that passive nitrogen into the garden, really help grow these plants, give them that little boost that they need. Back over here we have tomatoes that I really need to trellis. They're just kind of hanging out on the ground, but they are flowering, so we should be getting tomatoes here soon. Bunch of different varieties. I just can't remember what we put in, but I'm not super concerned about it. When we move here within the next couple of years, right, we have smaller projects that are planned until we get established. But once we get fully established, settled down, we are going to take you guys in the process of essentially a complete rebuild of our garden. We've been working on this one for the last 3 years, right? And we have various different things that we've grown over the last 3 years. So this is actually a few days after that first part that you guys saw. Work got a little bit busy. I had a few things that I had to do to get the house ready for open houses, but I also have my microphone, so hopefully the audio quality is a little bit better this time. The dill has really started to pick up a little bit. There's a ton of work that I have to do out here. As you guys can see, the weeds are starting to take over. It's been super hot lately, so I haven't really had a desire to get out here and actually do any weeding in the garden. But I'm going to try to use the evening hours, maybe the morning hours, to really be able to get out here and make a big push on all the weeds in the main garden area. Now, as I've talked about before, this is not our permanent garden, right? We have been using this as a test garden to figure out what we want to grow, what we want to do when we get to our more permanent establishment. But you guys can see all around me, we have all of these squash here. They're surprisingly healthy. We've had issues with squash bugs in the past, but looking at all of these leaves, there really isn't anything that leads me to believe that we have any kind of issues with squash bugs. If you guys can see over here, I've let the cauliflower go a little bit crazy. I need to pull these up because I'm not going to be able to eat these, and they're just going to go into the compost. Over here, we have a bunch of basil that's reseeded itself from last year. I believe this is holy basil. I love this stuff. It smells so good. It's really just a good addition and good to have in our garden because it's one of those little things that kind of makes me feel excited to get out here and be able to do things. These raised beds, if you can even really call them raised beds, are literally just sections of, I believe they're 2x6s that I've put together to be able to have some sort of segmentation within the garden without actually having to dig into the soil. The person we bought this house from did a really good job of the soil being super fertile. But we wanted something to be able to segment everything away from what we actually want to do. Darcy wants to be the star of the show. Darcy, come here. In the future, I don't want to do this kind of thing again. Bessie and I have talked about either getting those corrugated metal round raised beds or like the square ones, or building them up a little bit taller. With the weeds, right? The taller the garden bed, the less weeds you really have to deal with, especially if you're really good about managing what grows in around it. Got a couple of orders of wood chips when we first moved in almost 3 years ago now, and we use that to mulch in between each section of the raised beds that we have. So I think in the future, when we get to our more permanent establishment, our more permanent garden, what we're going to do is we'd probably do garden fabric and then cover that with some sort of mulch, whether it's wood chips or leaf mulch. I know there are other YouTubers, other homesteaders that will use a leaf mulch as opposed to wood chips. Into the raised beds at the very bottom, what we did was we put larger pieces of wood, sticks from around the yard that blew off of the trees. We would put that kind of stuff down, as well as cardboard underneath that, just to kind of keep a little bit more separation from the bare soil and where the weeds would be coming in. We backfilled probably 2 to 3 inches of wood chips on top of that. From there, we just got leaf compost as topsoil from one of the local nurseries. For almost all of our boxes, we left probably about 2 inches from the top, maybe even less than that, going down to 1 inch. But in that, we have all of our things that we have planted over the last few years. Obviously, we amend our soil. We do quote unquote crop rotations. We get a fair amount of rain in the spring here, so that'll add a lot of passive nitrogen into the soil, and then we'll supplement it with our compost as well that we have. I had to come inside because that was a large group of motorcycles driving through. But if you guys have any ideas of what I should do with some of the things that we have growing out there, maybe the dill, maybe the broccoli, we have some beans that are trying to get established, but they're not doing very well right now. Let me know what you guys think I should do in the comments. And I'll try to figure something out, see if I can get squeeze another video out of this home that we have built. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next one.